It reminds me a little bit of the murder of Heather Heyer. It's a little different. If you recall, at the time that Heather was killed by James Alex Fields, there was a sudden conversation happening about white supremacy that really started around Trump's election, that started to build and build and build nationally. And there were a series of provocative events hosted by the alt-right white supremacist themed events, culminating in what they sort of would believe would be like a kind of a Lollapalooza of white supremacy. And all hell broke loose. So this is very, comparatively a fast run up here. This is a little different, the ICE thing. The journey of ICE, I mean, it's started with like Democrat administrations, right? It's been around for a while. The conversation around ICE has I remember when abolish ICE, 5-6 years ago was considered like a really taboo thing to say, too radical. I mean, I think you start seeing people like Bill Kristol saying it now. This has been a slow build to this moment, but I don't know where we go from here, because we do know, I think unequivocally, that they will shoot us, they will kill us, and they will expect to be greeted as heroes by their own people and pardoned by the president.
Well, they believe, rightfully, that they can do whatever they want to people who are opposed to what they're doing. They can be violent. They can try to kill them. In this case, actually kill them. And the federal government will reflexively go out, brazenly lie about what happened, and then their victims, they'll take it a step further and try to fold the victims of their violence into narratives about the radical left, narratives about Antifa, narratives about whatever, which, the way I see it, all exist to justify more violence. It is a cycle. It is a machine. They did it in Chicago. They will keep doing it unless they actually are made to face the music. And what's frustrating me this evening is that a lot of Democrat leaders, right, who are in, what should be an opposition party right now, are too chicken shit to do anything. They have some nasty things to say, some mean things to say. But when it comes to, like, if this had happened with anybody who is not like a federal goon, if there were 4 angles of somebody shooting somebody point blank in their vehicle, they would be arrested immediately. But instead, everybody's scared. They're too, like I said, just too chicken shit to do anything. But every time something like this happens and nobody's made to face the music, it is a complicit endorsement, right?
Right.
I'm kind of, my goal for the podcast tonight was not to say anything that would get me on a federal watch list.
I think I'm pretty sure you already are, but go ahead. You and I are both apparently on antifawatch.net or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm going to roll through customs. They're going to seize my phone and go through the photos folder and be like, wow, there are a lot of photos of this Pomeranian. No, but like, it's just disgusting, man. Until somebody actually faces the music, going to jail.
What you bring up there, like, it's hard to point out exactly where this started, because certainly James Alex Fields was a person who, he got murdered, he went to prison. I think like the Kyle Rittenhouse moment looms very large for me as a moment where it was sort of like, well, this, not only did this like completely, jelly-brained child, bring a gun. He had no place to be there, nothing, that, and shot people. But they were going to greet him as a hero, and they would bring him on stage at a TPUSA event with all kinds of fireworks, like he was 50 Cent.
Yeah. He's going to go in court and like fake cry, right? And be like,
God, it's so insufferable.
I didn't want to do it. And then like, yeah, then go out on a Turning Point USA stage and it's like, this guy killed people we don't like.
Yeah.
And even today, did you see he tweeted?
Yeah, he says
he was like, should I go to Minneapolis? And even, I mean, there's even some like blue check right-wing people in the replies being like, dude, what?
Well, I was going to get
you got to shut the fuck up now, dude.
I was gonna get into that in a second because these right-wing influencers and the way they responded are going to turn me into fucking Dr. Giggles right now. But the Kyle Rittenhouse moment, look, his case was complex, so I don't want to get into the nuances there. Or he should have been guilty or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not important. It's more the way they treated him, the way he became a hero almost immediately. I remember the Proud Boys did like music video kind of montage fan cam stuff of him that they were playing on Telegram at the time. That felt like the beginning of it, where it's like if you kill somebody who's an opponent of MAGA, who's perceived as leftist, you are going to be a hero. And I've already seen, Jared, AI videos of the guy, and that are circling around on X, and he says something to the equivalent of, part of my French is what they said. It's like like catch libtard or something like that, and he it's POV him firing into the car like he's a fucking badass.
Is that a reference to the Charlie Kirk shooting?
I unconsciously, maybe unconsciously. But I think about these influencers, including Kyle Rittenhouse, because that's what he is. I think of Andy No and the way he's responded to this. I think of that Nick Sortor, that guy we covered as an anti-Antifa person. They have been, it's not just this moment in which they are taking this horrific tragedy and turning it into propaganda immediately because they have no filter and there's no concern about what might be the right thing to do in a given moment. They're always going to do that. It's the fact that they laid the groundwork for this death. They played a role in this death, absolutely. Because these ICE agents who are basically Proud Boys with badges or whatever the hell they have been ingesting this propaganda slop not only throughout this second administration, but for years. And they have been sowing these lies about us, about our friends, about friends of ours that we've never met before. They have been deceiving people about who we are, what we want, why we exist, to such a degree. And again, Andy No is the most craven, pathetic excuse of a person I could possibly imagine. Doesn't do anything anymore except for repost other people's videos. But he is out there helping to justify not only this killing, but the killing of other people, the killing of people, for all we know, who might be listening to our show. It infuriates me to such a degree. I actually can't even, it's difficult for me to think straight. I'm actually so disgusted with these people because we spend a lot of time covering them. And the reason we spend a lot of time covering them is because they move world events, which is disgusting to think about, but they actually do. And they have helped move this one for sure.